Welcome everyone to the stream. Today we are going to do a quick tutorial on how to use Power BI Desktop as an IDE or integrated development environment, and how we can use or as a dashboard developer, reports developer, use Power BI and leverage the Power BI cloud services to sort of publish this in an enterprise, and how we can sort of work together and collaborate and sort of start thinking about how to source control Power BI, right? Because a lot of people, well, there'll be some tips and tricks. The stream will be quite quick. It's not going to be more than 20 minutes, so let's crack on. So first two things you need, it's obviously prereqs. You need to have a Power BI account, Power BI Pro for this one. You need to have a gateway set up, and you need to have it connected to an analysis services database with some, for Tabular analysis services database with some form of data set or data model there that you can use, right? So let's get started. So development tool is going to be Power BI Desktop. This is not latest version, but I'm having problems installing the update. I'm going to have to fix that before I can do that. But it's current enough to work with. So first things first, we need to set up some environments. So the easiest way I found, so you got obviously your personal workspace, my workspace, where you got stuff, right? For this demo, we're going to create a workspace. So let me just edit this one, delete this workspace, and we're going to start from scratch. So we create a workspace, and we're going to call this my development workspace. Right. It's a private workspace just for me. I'm not going to do anything specific with this. So this is just where you're going to be doing your Power BI development in your sort of organization or within your enterprise. So before we can use the desktop tool to build dashboards based on a data set in this workspace, we need to add a data set. So for this, we are going to use an organizational data set. In this case, it is an analysis services data set, so sequence of analysis services. Just warning, we have some connectivity issues to our data. Oh, we're quite quick today. Right, so we're going to use a data set that's not so, well, has no PI data. One thing I want to recommend, when you add a data set, please name it something appropriate. So, because the default names are not the best. So we're gonna just call it something. CDM listener stats. Right. So I'm just calling it something that's descriptive and that makes sense, right? So now we've added that into this workspace. So if we go back to the IDE, to Tabular Desktop, we can go, ooh, let's get some data. And we want to use, there we go, Power BI services, connect to that. And you can see here, this is my development workspace. So we go there and we have our CDM listeners. Ooh, great. So we're going to, ooh. Right. Okay, that was that's a demo fail. Okay, let's just have a quick look, see if this dataset actually works. Let's just test this guy. It's the same. Oh. Right, so this became a troubleshooting tutorial now. So let's go back here and let's just have a look at our gateway health. Yeah, they look all good, all online. Happiness says. Yeah, that all looks good. All right, this is interesting. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I need to connect VPN. Right, so one of the things that's a bit of a bummer, I'm going to do all this off screen. One of the things that are a little bit of a bummer is that if you're connecting to authentication failed. Have we changed it? No, we haven't. Right, that looks better. Now we connect to VPN. So what happens is that when we use these analysis services data sets, there we go. Power BI Desktop doesn't go via the Power BI service and use the Power BI gateway. It uses a direct connection with the analysis server. So you need to be on the same network when you're developing, or have access to it through VPN or whatever. Right. So this is not a particularly interesting data set. It's a health statistics data set that we use. So we can just put some stuff on here so to illustrate how we can promote or move it around in different environments. So let's start by grabbing something interesting like a shard ID, and we can do a latency, and yeah, okay, that's cool. So we've got some shards for a microservice. For well, this is a listener that sucks data out of a Kinesis data stream. And then maybe what we can do is add a date, and we can plot this into graph. Let's just flip that into one of those. Yeah, let's take away the shard IDs because they're just annoying. We want dates on our axis, and this is, yeah, that's interesting. Well, that's something at least. Right, we then going to go and say, let's create one of those. Now we can put a so we have one is average and one is right. Okay, great. I see it. Right, then we go and we say shard ID, and we go average message latency. So we can sort of, we can go and slash the set. Right. Then I've got some other dimensions here that that is hold on a second. I'm trying to remember this stuff, or this data set. Yeah, that's a filter. So if we go, the filter isn't correct, but let's not worry about that. What we'll do is we'll just go in and say we want to have the date. That needs to be a filter, and there we go. That's happy slicer. Alright, then we can go and say, well, let's just look at the last little bit, and that should change stuff. We can see we have some latency issues on our RDS instance. Anyway, so we've now built this. First thing you do is you save it, and we're going to call this, well, you obviously save it locally where your source repo is, where you store your code. So I'm just going to call this the test demo. Right, we call this my new dashboard. Right, save that, and we go and we say we'd like to publish this. Yes, it's been successfully published. And if we now go back to Power BI, refresh, come on. Come on. There you go. My new dashboard. Happiness S. And there it is. And it's interactive. And we can slice it. And we can look at it. And we can say, well, I want to know about that chart. And we're there. So similar that I hardly move. Okay. There we go. Reports up. Right. So now we say, okay, well, that's great. So I have my development environment. Let's create a new workspace. Right. So go workspaces. Sorry, my bad. Now we go and say my UAT workspace. Right. So in terms of pipeline or environment, we would go develop, dev, UAT, and then production, or dev int UAT production, or dev int one UAT into rev, or whatever your environment pipeline looks like. So yeah, we're just gonna create another one, and in this workspace again, we're gonna go and grab the same data set. Right. So now the services. That's nice. Oh, there we go. Right, it's that guy, and then the model and connect. So this is a little bit slow. I'm going through VPN now, but anyway, that's fine. Cool. So data set's in. Let's just rename it to something a bit more attractive. So we go CDM latency UAT. Yeah, hey, just give it a nice descriptive name. We go back to desktop. All right, then we go, okay, let's push this into UAT. And then we go, in order for us to move environment, we need to modify the data set. So we go data source settings. We say, oh, my UAT workspace connected to that workspace. Load, right? And publish. Yes, save changes. And then waiting for it to publish to a new workspace. And there we go. Now it's in the new workspace. So we go back here, we go and refresh, we go to reports. Ooh, there it is. Right, so now, here we go. Now we're done, it's sitting in UAT. Someone goes, okay, well, this is nice, but, you know, I'm not the biggest fan. I don't like this. I want something more descriptive. I want to be able to, I don't know, look at something else. Okay, so whatever the change may be. So the guy goes, okay, well, I'm going to download a copy of this, okay, and do some work on it. So we're going to close our version, right? Now this guy, so this is the guy that's got access, that's sitting with UAT access, and he goes, yeah, okay, it's SSAS, yeah, it works. I want to download the report. And I want to do some alterations. Right. So now it goes. Sorry, waiting for Power BI Desktop to open. There we go. Yes, there's a new version out. And now we're sitting with the UAT version. And go, ooh, okay, this is good. But I don't like this. You forgot to, we need to rename this. So we go rename page, go latency trend. So this is now developer number 2 doing this, and it goes, okay. But in fact, I would like to drop in something else. So I'm just checking. I want to, there we go. No. I want to just put in the complete average. And I want to also have the amount of stop minutes, which we don't have. Not in this data set. So if we go there, we have some. Right. Because that was missing. And then we'll go, right. I just want to drop in a note, or well, no. I go and say, file, save as. Then we go, my UAT dashboard. Right, so now we want to publish the changes. So this is developer number 2 that's been doing the changes. He's like, okay, this is what we actually want in the outcome, and this has now been signed off. Right, so then whomever owns the production environment obviously goes and preps that. So we don't have a production environment, so we'll just set up another workspace for that. So we go create another app workspace, and we go our production workspace. Or our production app workspace. Right. And it gets created, and whomever's got access. Right. We go and we connect to our data to prep our workspace. And we grab the same connection and rename that one quickly. Prod CDM latency. Right, so now we have our production workspace created. Go back to developer tools. So I've opened, obviously, how it would work is that we would need to push this. So we go save it as whatever the thing should be. CDM latency dashboard. Right. And we go and we edit data source settings. We go, ooh, our production workspace. Right, load and publish. Save changes. And published. Right, great. So now we have it up and sitting. Right, so you can go. You can go to there. Yeah, our production workspace, and it's fantastic. We have our working dashboard in our production workspace or production environment. Okay, now what many people now go, okay, well, this is nice. How can we make it a bit better? Well, you know what? We can go into the workspace. There, sorry. We go to our report, and there's, we want to create now a little app for this. So we go publish app, and we call this system health app. Right. Content. Start off content with app is that thing. Access, obviously you pass it to whomever needs access, and we go finish. Access. Right, give it to the entire organization. Right, or you would have given it specific people. Right, go to the app, and there's our app somewhere. Right, cool. So now if it will then appear here, and you can click on it, and you get landing page on your dashboard. Ooh, happinesses. You can also obviously check what's in there. Cool. So just to recap what we've done. So we've used the Power BI workspaces, app workspaces as environments, right? We used them in connection with analysis services gateways or data sets, tabular data models to get enterprise data. This was a system health data set. And we've figured out how to move using an IDE between different workspaces. Right. In other words, we have different environments. We also created and published a Power BI app. And the Power BI app obviously appears once published under the apps, right? And that's it. As far as source control is concerned, so obviously there's no Visual Studio integration yet. But what we've done in our organization is that we've taken, we created a source control set per report or per workspace, right? So we don't back up dev, or well, those are local. But when we go into UAT and production, we have repos for those. And what we do is we commit our workspaces that will work into those ones, and then commit that into either our Visual Studio Online instance or our Git repos. And that's quite an easy way of working with it. One thing that I must warn against, so if you build dashboards and reports in the online tool, so if you just go into the workspace and go wherever it is, my UAT workspace, and you go, let's create a report, use that data to create it, and we start and we go, yeah, I want that, and I want that together, and we go file, save as, so I'll save, and we give it a name, say new UAT test. Right, there's an unfortunate part about this. When you open this, so if we go into the UAT workspace and we go to this new one, right? Remember how I used to download it? Well, you can't download it if you build it here, which means that you can't move it through environments. In order for you to download it, it needs to be created and managed through Power BI Desktop. Okay. If you build it in the web thing, it's just it can't be managed after that. Okay. So that's one important thing to note. Right. So I think that is it. If you have any questions or anything, then yeah, just post them, and we'll take it from there. Right. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of this content. Thank you very much.
I am Sushi, no one can get me.